Welcome to the Learn English Podcast Daily. My name is Claire.
My name is James. By listening to this, you may learn English in a very simple way.
Today, we are going to talk about a very interesting topic. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon. Okay, let's deep into the topic.
Okay, let's talk about the tech that just exploded onto the scene. GPT, it hit 1 million users in, 5 days?
Just 5 days. An absolutely unprecedented adoption rate. It really kicked off this huge global conversation.
Right, and I think everyone's grappling with this core tension, Is it this amazing helper, like a co-pilot for our brains, boosting creativity and productivity?
Or is it something more disruptive, something that might fundamentally change how we work, maybe even replace jobs?
Exactly. So that's our mission for this deep dive. We've gone through the sources, and we want to really unpack this thing for you, demystify it. We'll look at how it actually works under the hood, what it can do, but also, crucially, what it can't do. Understanding those limits is key.
Absolutely. So just to level set, what is ChatGPT? At its core, it's a very sophisticated chatbot, an AI developed by OpenAI, and it's built on this family of models they call LLMs, large language models, specifically the GPT series that stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer.
Generative Pre-trained Transformer, okay.
And that last word, transformer, that's really the breakthrough architecture here. It's what lets the model understand context over long stretches of text. So it's not like those old chatbots that just responded to keywords. This thing can follow a whole conversation, generating text that feels remarkably, human.
So it didn't just appear out of nowhere. It sounds like there's a history here in evolution.
Oh, definitely. This wasn't a sudden invention. It's been building for years. It really started back in 2018 with GPT-1. That was more of a proof of concept.
Okay.
Then came GPT-2 in 2019. That one was significantly bigger, much better at generating coherent text. So much better, actually, that OpenAI initially held back the full version.
They were worried.
Yeah, they were concerned about potential misuse and misinformation, fake news, that kind of thing. It shows how quickly the power was scaling up.
And then the big leap everyone talks about was GPT-3 in 2020, right? What made that one such a game changer?
Scale. Just sheer massive scale. GPT-3 had 175 billion parameters. Think of parameters as like the connections the AI uses to learn. At that size, it started showing what they call emergent property skills. It wasn't explicitly trained for, like basic reasoning, translation, even writing code snippets. It was a huge jump.
Wow, okay.
So ChatGPT itself, the one that launched in late 2022, was initially based on a fine-tuned version of GPT-3, specifically GPT 3.5, and really optimized for dialogue, for conversation.
And now we have GPT-4.
Right. GPT-4 came out in 2023. That's the engine behind the paid version, ChatGPT+. It's even more capable, handles much more complex tasks, and it's multimodal.
Multimodal, meaning?
Meaning it can understand and process not just text, but also images. You can give it a picture and ask questions about it. Yeah. That's a major step forward.
Okay, so it's incredibly powerful, evolving fast, but you mentioned it doesn't think like we do. How does it actually create this stuff that sounds so, intelligent?
Yeah, that's the key thing to grasp. It's fundamentally about pattern recognition and prediction. It's not conscious. It's not understanding in a human sense.
So how does that prediction work? Can we break it down?
We can simplify the training process into maybe 3 main steps. First, there's the massive pre-training. They feed the model just an unimaginable amount of text, data books, articles, websites, huge chunks of the internet.
Just raw text.
Pretty much. From this, it learns grammar, facts, different writing styles, common sense reasoning, but most importantly, it learns the statistical relationships between words. Which word is likely to follow another word in any given context?
Okay, so that makes it knowledgeable, but maybe not that useful for conversation yet.
Exactly. It knows a lot, but it doesn't know how to interact politely or helpfully. That's step 2, supervised fine-tuning. Here, human AI trainers actually step in. They create conversations where they play both roles, the user asking a question and the AI assistant providing an ideal answer.
So they're showing it examples of good conversations.
Precisely. Teaching it the desired format, tone, how to answer helpfully, how to decline harmful requests, that sort of thing.
Got it. But I remember reading that the real secret sauce, the thing that made ChatGPT feel so aligned and helpful, was something called RLHF.
Yes. Reinforcement learning from human feedback. This is absolutely crucial. This is step 3.
So what happens there? It sounds different from just providing examples.
It is. In our LHF, the AI generates several different possible answers to a given prompt. Then human trainers look at these answers and rank them.
Rank them, like from best to worst.
Exactly. They say this one's great, this one's okay, this one's unhelpful, this one's factually wrong. This ranking data is then used to train a separate AI model called a reward model.
The reward model.
Yeah, its job is basically to predict which kinds of answers the human trainers will like, which ones they'll rank highly. Then, this reward model is used to further fine-tune the main GPT model. It's like teaching it, through trial and error guided by human preference, what constitutes a good, helpful, and safe response.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So the pre-training gives it the raw knowledge, the supervised tuning teaches it the basic format, and the RLHF teaches it judgment, what humans actually find useful.
That's a great way to put it. So now, when you type in a prompt, say, explain black holes,
Yeah.
ChatGPT isn't searching a database for an article on black holes. It's calculating, word by word, the most statistically probable next word to create a coherent explanation based on everything it learned and the preferences encoded by the RLHF.
Probability. It's all just incredibly complex probability.
At its core, yes. Billions of parameters calculating probabilities thousands of times a second. That's what produces the fluid, natural-sounding text.
And that predictive power makes it super versatile. The sources we looked at showed people using it for just about everything. What are some of the standout applications?
So let's start with content creation. Obviously, drafting emails, cover letters, brainstorming blog post ideas, that's table stakes now.
Yeah.
But people are using it for more complex stuff, too. Generating product descriptions, summarizing really long reports or academic papers down to the key points.
Yeah.
That can save an enormous amount of time.
I can see that. And what about more technical fields? Coding, for instance.
Oh, huge impact there. For technical tasks, it's great at generating boilerplate code. You know, the standard setup stuff in Python or SQL. Lets developers focus on the tricky logic.
Can it find bugs?
It can certainly try. You can paste in code that isn't working and ask it to identify potential errors or explain what a confusing section does. Sometimes it's spot on, sometimes less so, but it's often a good starting point.
And in education, I saw a mention about universities exploring its use.
Yes, learning and education is a big area. Used responsibly, it can be an amazing tool. Think of it as a personalized tutor or research assistant. You can ask it to explain complex topics like, say, quantum physics or medieval history in simple terms. Or you can have it generate practice quizzes on specific subjects to help you study.
So a study buddy, basically.
A very knowledgeable, but sometimes slightly inaccurate study buddy.
Yes. And for business folks, productivity boosts.
Absolutely. In business and productivity, think market research. You can ask it for a list of competitors in a niche market or generate a basic SWOT analysis. It can draft marketing copy, outline project plans, help manage tasks. It's like having an instant junior analyst or assistant for many routine tasks.
Okay, it really does sound incredibly useful across the board, but there's always a but, isn't there? That predictive mechanism must have downsides.
It absolutely does. And understanding these limitations is non-negotiable for using it safely and effectively. This is where human oversight becomes critical.
So what's the biggest pitfall?
Without a doubt, it's what the researchers call hallucinations. This is the big one.
Hallucinations. Sounds dramatic.
It means the AI can generate information that sounds completely plausible, confident, and well-written, but is totally wrong, fabricated, made up.
Why does it do that? Is it trying to trick you?
No, again, it's not about intent. It doesn't know it's wrong. It's just assembling this sequence of words that seems statistically most likely based on its training data. Sometimes that sequence happens to form a statement that isn't true, but sounds like it could be.
So the key takeaway is never trust it blindly for critical information.
Never. Always, always verify anything, facts, figures, dates, legal points, medical information with reliable external sources. Treat it as a starting point, not the final word.
That ties into the next point, right? The lack of true understanding.
Exactly. It's manipulating symbols, patterns of language incredibly effectively. But there's no genuine comprehension, no beliefs, no emotions, no consciousness behind it. It's like, imagine the most brilliant actor who can deliver any line with perfect conviction, but has zero personal understanding of the feelings or ideas they're conveying.
That's a helpful analogy. Okay, what other limits should we be aware of?
A very practical one is a knowledge cutoff. The free version, typically running on GPT 3.5, has a training data cutoff date.
Meaning it doesn't know recent events?
Right. Its knowledge generally stops sometime in early 2022 or maybe late 2021, depending on the specific model version. So if you ask it about something that happened last year, it either won't know or might guess, potentially hallucinate. Paid versions often have more recent data or can browse the web, but you need to be aware of the limits of the specific model you're using.
Okay, that's crucial for timely info. And privacy. You mentioned security risks earlier.
Yes, bias and privacy are major concerns. The AI learns from internet data, which, as we know, contains biases. So its outputs can sometimes reflect societal biases related to race, gender, etc. OpenAI works to mitigate this, but it's an ongoing challenge.
And the privacy part.
Don't paste sensitive personal or company information into the chat. Your conversations might be reviewed by human trainers to improve the model. Assume anything you type could potentially be seen by someone else. That's really important for professional use.
Good warning. Okay, so for people using this seriously, maybe thinking about the paid version, ChatGPT Plus, what's the real difference there? Is it worth it?
It really depends on your usage. The main differences are power and access. The free version uses the older GPT 3.5 model. It's good, but GPT-4 and the newer GPT-4o in the paid version are significantly more capable, better at reasoning, follow complex instructions better.
And you don't get locked out as often.
Exactly. Paid users get priority access, so you're less likely to hit those at-capacity messages during peak times. Plus, you get faster response speeds. And critically, the paid tier usually unlocks advanced features. The ability to browse the web for current information, upload files like PDFs or data for analysis, use plugins, and create custom GPTs tailored for specific tasks. For heavy users, the capability jump is pretty substantial.
Right, so whether it's free or paid, it sounds like getting the most out of it isn't just about the AI itself, but how you talk to it, this idea of prompt engineering.
Absolutely essential. This is the skill, really. Prompt engineering is just the practice of crafting clear, specific, context-rich instructions to guide the AI towards the output you actually want. Vague prompts get vague, often useless answers.
Can you give an example, like a bad prompt versus a good one?
Sure. A bad prompt is just write about marketing. Way too broad, you'll get a generic, probably boring essay.
Okay. And a good one?
A good one gives context and constraints. Something like, act as a marketing consultant. Write a 500-word introductory section for a blog post aimed at small business owners in the U.S. healthcare sector. The topic is content marketing strategies for patient engagement. Use a professional yet approachable tone and list the 3 main strategies we will cover in the full post.
Wow, okay, that's much more specific. You're giving it a role, audience, topic, length, tone, required elements.
Exactly, you're guiding it. And often it's an iterative process. You get the first draft, then refine it. You might say, okay, that's good, but make it more concise. Or rewrite that paragraph to include a statistic about patient retention. It's a dialogue.
So mastering the prompt is key. Looking ahead then, where is this tech going? We've got GPT-4, multimodal. What's next?
Well, one big push is towards personalization. AIs that learn your specific writing style, your preferences, the context of your work, maybe even anticipate your needs.
So it becomes more like a true personal assistant.
Precisely. And while multimodal combining text, image, audio, maybe video will become standard, the really transformative shift seems to be toward agent-like behavior.
Agent-like, what does that mean?
It means AI that doesn't just respond to one prompt at a time, but can take on complex, multi-step goals and execute them autonomously across different applications.
Like the example you mentioned earlier, planning a whole trip.
Yeah, think bigger than just find flights. Imagine saying, plan and book my 2-week vacation to Japan for next May, keeping the budget under $5,000, focusing on cultural sites, and handling the visa paperwork. The AI would then research, compare options, make bookings, interact with different websites or apps, all autonomously.
That's a whole different level, from tool to like a project manager.
It really shifts the dynamic.
Okay, so let's try and synthesize this. ChatGPT and the models behind it are clearly a landmark technology. Incredible for boosting productivity, generating ideas, accessing information. Its power comes from predicting language patterns with amazing fluency.
Yes, stunning fluency.
And it's a big but. It's an amplifier, not a replacement for us. Human judgment, critical thinking, fact-checking, ethical considerations, those are still firmly our job.
Couldn't agree more. It's a co-pilot, a powerful one, but you're still the pilot. The real magic happens when human expertise guides the AI's capabilities.
The future really seems to be about that partnership, the human plus the AI.
Which leads to a final thought, maybe something for you, our listeners, to ponder.
Go on.
If these future AI agents do become capable of handling complex, multi-step tasks, Autonomously planning that vacation, managing a project, conducting detailed research, what fundamental human skills, particularly around decision-making and judgment, become even more valuable in a world where the doing part gets increasingly automated. What's left for us that truly matters?
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. Let's meet soon with a new interesting topic. Have a nice day.